Alright, let's see what's going on here. I guess we on. Hey, what's going on, party people? If this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure having you in. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And technically, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is assist other people in becoming in alignment with who they are. It's the same idea behind mind, body, and soul. So I help you to align those three or those two, however the fuck you want to look at it, together, right? But for you to do so, it's important for you to understand your emotional patterns and your emotional blockages. Those blockages, how they affect. Well, once you understand it, then you would understand how they affect you. But pretty much in a nutshell, and then in addition to that, I also help you to understand your intellectual conditioning, mind control, or your perspective. Because it pretty much comes down to it's not how much you see, but it's how are you looking at it. So, technically, that's exactly what I do. Now, if you're coming back, welcome back. It's definitely a pleasure having you in. Let me take my shit, niggas, real quick. It's definitely a pleasure having you in. I hope you showed up with your plate, okay? And we got some shit to talk about here. Now, especially if this is your first time here, I always, love to pretty much summarize or give you a little bit of breakdown of what I define as spirituality, because spirituality is the tool that I use for me to do what I'm doing here. So, when we're talking about spirituality, for most people, they think of spirituality in terms of it's something that is far distant from them. It's over there, it's not over here. So we tend to remove ourselves when we're talking about spirituality. And the reason being, of course, because we look at ourselves as being physical. But that's behind the point, right? And then other people look at it as maybe it's a religion thing. But you also have other people that would probably say, you know what, it's a belief system. All three of these answers are fucking wrong. Those has nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality is you. It's the person that you are. It's the baby crying without even saying a word yet. It's your essence. Your essence is spirituality. So now when we talk about the occult now comes into play to pretty much tell you about, to help you to have, like I was talking about yesterday, is to help you to have a deeper view or perspective on the person that you are. That's why they'll tell you, you have a subconscious mind, you have a conscious mind, your ego, your shadow, and all of that shit. All of that doing is, that's why it's called the hidden culture. Pretty much it is analyzing the hidden side of you, the side that goes beyond just what we're looking at. In fact, if you understand that, that is the reason why this world, as the Indian call it, is the world of illusion. Now the occult comes in to let you know what? You are more than your dick and pussy, nigga. You're more than just food and money. So you understand that, they pretty much delve into the self. The whole you knowing thyself, self-realization, it's all the same shit. The self-realization, doesn't activate, no, because, okay, it's simply telling you who you were that you didn't know. That's why all you got to do, you got to acknowledge yourself. That's all you got to do. Knowing who you are, and that's it. That's your purpose. Knowing who you are, you done. It's a done deal. And of course, it's easily said than being done. The process of you attaining that state of consciousness, which is the Godhead, you knowing that self, Krishna, Christ, however the fuck you want to call it, is enlightenment. And in the conversation I had yesterday, I was just showing you how magic don't mean shit. It's just an aspect of you. But most importantly, you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, your job is to have is to have that Godhead. But anyway, that was yesterday's conversation. I'm saying all of that just to give you a little bit of background to let you know that when my definition of what spirituality is, that's why it goes beyond, your belief system, your religion. It goes beyond all of that bullshit. It's your essence. It's who you are. Now, you coming to terms with who you are, that's when, at this point, you become spiritual. You have activated that spirit in you. You acknowledge it. Now you are acting accordingly. In other words, you are acting in accordance of you knowing that you're a spirit. Now you don't want to work too hard. You understand you got to manifest. You know what I'm saying? So you're becoming a God walking amongst men. Then you understand, you know what I'm saying, you got to become abundant. It's a state of mind. And pretty much that's what the Kabbalah is talking about. Right? So now spirituality is just giving you the story of the spirit. That's it. We do it in our mythology. You know what I'm saying? And then I already talk about that too, but that's a whole different conversation. This is where I'm going with this. Our conversation for tonight, we're going to be talking about finding the middle point. And I was actually inspired by, you know what I'm saying, a sister who was talking. She was cute. Hey, girl. And then she was saying how, well, before I even get to that, right, I'm just going to use myself as an example. I remember when I did the whole Christianity thing, as I was coming out of it, my tendency was like, fuck that shit. Because I discovered it's a lie, you know what I'm saying? So fuck it, I'm a sick for the truth. Or, you know what I'm saying, just for lack of a better term. But today, my perspective, shit, shalom, nigga. Namaste. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else? I don't give a fuck. I say all of them. I take it for what it is because I found the middle point. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying this to say a lot of us sometimes we tend to go from one extremity to the next. Now, finding the middle point is what polarity is all about. You see, it's important for you. There's duality, there's polarity. Having a duality perspective or looking at life from a dualistic perspective, it's you looking at good or bad. It's you looking at the physical, the non-physical. Polarity, on the other hand, is to embody both of them. In the Kabbalion, when we're talking about polarity, we understand extremes meet. They come together. In other words, we understand when we're talking about duality, which is two different sides of the coins, those two different sides are part of the same coin. The same coin perspective, that's what polarity is all about. That's your ascension. That is your middle point. But that middle point doesn't mean it's half, let's just say, if you're looking at a coin, right? It's not half head and then half tail. It's the whole perspective. But that would be in a whole different conversation too, because I believe I had already talked about that. Your true balance is for you to become spiritual. But I guess since we're talking about the middle point, it kind of goes hand in hand. meaning becoming your ascension. To truly be balanced, you have to go beyond love and hate. In fact, in duality, when you adopt a duality perspective, you know what I'm saying, like you become one-sided. Now you're saying, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, you're saying love, and then you're not talking about hate. Love is good, hate is not good. That's a duality perspective. And that's what the European spirituality or perspective is based on. That's where you have your, I guess, there's no harmony, there's competition, and all of that derives from duality perspective. And that's what duality is. Or another way of looking at the duality too is that you cannot have good without bad. Right? But a polarity perspective is to go beyond those two. So finding the middle point, and I'm going to connect all of that to the young lady that actually inspired me to even talk about this shit tonight, because I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? And then the spirit tells me, you know what? Do it, nigga. But anyway, so I was using the Bible of the Christian mentality, is that we go from one extreme to the next because we have not fully grasped the whole perspective yet. The Kabbalion talks about on how, you know, hot and cold, the middle thing here is air. Right? The only difference in hot and cold is the same air, but they just differ, like they actually differ in degrees. Meaning when the temperature rises, now we're saying it's hot, it's the same temperature, it's the same air. And that shit drop, then you say it's motherfucking cold, nigga. 30 degrees. That's all that shit is. But ultimately, you're talking about the same air. So, now, if I were to use, I don't know if I even need to go there, but to get back to what I was talking about, having that in mind, then you understand finding the middle point is to ascend. You know what I'm saying? Like, duality is this: good or bad. Physical, non-physical, or spirituality. All of that shit. You have those two poles. Whereas the Kabbalion is telling us those opposite poles, they meet, they come together. And that is the foundation of African spirituality when we talk about harmony. But most importantly, where I'm going with this now, let's get back to the young lady. So I wanted you to have that in mind, right? So now she was talking about how, you know, she didn't, you know, we all went through it, baby. Listen, I understand. Shit, if anything, I'll be the first one to talk about that shit, nigga. Do you see what I'm saying? Nigga, when I fell in love with this guy, because here's what the misconception was. The misconception is that once I love myself, I don't need nobody else. That's the extremity. So you went from being codependent now to not needing anybody. That is still that duality. You have not transcended yet. But you are not where you were before. Listen, you are being born again is part of the process. I get it. Well, let me let you know where you need to go. You got to find the middle point. That middle point at this point, listen, if you didn't love yourself and now you finally now loving yourself, what that means at this point is that you have learned not to cast your pearls before swines. Doesn't mean you don't need nobody. No. It means now I have honored myself and my gift not to waste myself to someone who don't appreciate you. Does that mean you don't need anybody? That's not the case at all. You know, we all need somebody. We all need everybody. Shit, nigga. Thanksgiving's coming up. I ain't killing my turkey. Better yet, I don't even know if you were to tell me, okay, let's just say I wanted to do a ritual. I wanted to kill my own turkey. I don't even know where to go right now. And even the app, let's just say you're using your app, it was created by somebody. But I get it though. I get it. The idea of not needing anybody, I mean, I get what you're saying, is that now, I mean, although it's not being translated correctly, because because what you're doing is self-love doesn't mean you don't need anybody. In fact, self-love makes you appreciate other people even better. Having self-love, now you're saying to yourself, you know what, I am no longer wasting myself. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for like-minded people, or you are associating yourself with, you're making smarter fucking decision. That's really what it is. Because we all need one another. So, I briefly wanted to talk about that misconception, but most importantly, I was inspired in so many words to talk about that middle point. Because finding that middle point is where you ascend. That's your fucking ascension. Even though you can argue it's a misunderstanding, right? In terms of, her not truly understanding what it means to love yourself. That could also be part of it. But the middle point comes into play here, from going from one extremity, being codependent, to like fuck everybody. And that's why, understanding polarity is your ascension. It helps you to elevate. You go beyond, just like, okay, hate and love, it's all the same thing. And that's the, when you, and that's why you need to go beyond, duality. Because once you have a duality perspective, you are stuck. It doesn't allow you to elevate. In other words, the Bible tells you when you eat from the tree of good and evil, you know what I'm saying, you'll never see the kingdom of God. Because the kingdom of God goes beyond good and evil. This is the wisdom. This is eating from the tree of life. Hate and love are the same thing. You can actually hate somebody you love. Hell motherfucking yeah. It's not either or, motherfucker. Now, the either or can actually come, with a greater understanding. But anyway, the bottom line here is that, for you to bypass love and hate, you have to become indifferent. There's a sister, she wrote a book on the art of not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, although she didn't say it the way I'm about to say it, the art of not giving a fuck is truly giving a fuck. But you're giving a fuck like to a point where, where you don't give a fuck. In a sense of you giving a fuck more about your essence. And because I care about me, listen, man, why putting myself in the dumb shit? I don't give a fuck. That's you just saying, you know what, I see the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but it has nothing to do with me. Or I'm not putting myself in that type of shit. So again, finding the middle point, is what polarity is all about. And that's what the Kabbalion tells us. Because the Kabbalion pretty much is telling you about, how to navigate, how to know yourself better. Our ancestors left us the clues on how to know who we are. Not necessarily for you to get the fuck out of here. No, it's for you to know who you are. Know who you are. That's your way of getting out of here. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be stuck. And that's what the Kabbalion is doing. By giving you those laws. Those laws are pretty much codes. If you want to get in this door, you got to put in this code. Meaning, for instance, if you want to love, you got to love yourself. That's why they tell you you don't make money chasing money. Those laws, you have to understand them. And that's what makes it pretty much a fucking illusion. You think you want money? Well, chase money. You're not going to get it that way. Who do you know is making money who's not providing anything? You let me know. Either from playing basketball, and the reason why these motherfuckers are making a tons of money because they're all representing a fucking state. The excitement that they're bringing to the fucking community. So again, I'm just telling you, you let me know. Unless if you're robbing motherfuckers. And even that, you need to have a gun. You got to make them scared, even for you to get the money. You don't fucking make money chasing money. No way. No way, shape, and form. At all. It doesn't exist. And if you're an actor, or if you have a supermarket, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're a businessman, all that type of shit. In fact, that's why people are telling you to, to have your own business, right? Because you'll make more money doing that. But having your own business, the fucking rappers, Lil Wayne, the niggas said, yo, I don't even sleep. They gotta get this money. Nigga, his music is fucking hot. These motherfuckers are geniuses. I mean, it could be sad, that they're referring to it as getting this money. But if you value your art, then you understand it's the art that gives you the money, man. This motherfucker was hot. Lil Wayne was hot for a minute. Jay-Z, all them niggas. You let me know whoever's making money who's not hot. That's why when we see somebody who's hot, who's not making money, we want them to be on the fucking spotlight. Because this motherfucker's good. He should, he deserves this. And even the way that they make their money too, is publishing the shit. Whereas back in the days when we're talking about how many records did you actually sell, well, that's where the money is. You You publish the shit, or you selling it, however the fuck. But you got to have something though. So I'm saying all of that, and I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory at this point. But the bottom line here is that understanding those codes is also revealing to us that it's not what it looks like. So the whole Kemetic principles is actually giving us the law of the universe. Those principles are codes. It's all mental. Again, this is to help you to have a deeper understanding of who you are. It's a reminder. And that's all of our ancestors ever done, was leaving these things to remind us of who we are. Know who you are. Know yourself. Now you have those ancestors' work. Now you have a guy like me that comes in who understands their work, and now that's why I honor your fucking ancestors. Now I'm keeping the work going. Or the work it's got to keep on going, baby. That's when you have your ancestors' masters that actually come back or come in to, listen, man, it's never ending. That's what we do. So, understanding, man, we all need people. There's a difference between being codependent and interdependent. You want to become interdependent instead of codependent. Codependent is someone who depends on other people who's not. It's usually your selfish motherfuckers. It's usually your selfish motherfuckers who see no value in who they are. They have no goal, no fucking ambition, but they want to follow somebody else, and then they want to get what somebody else has because they don't acknowledge who the fuck they are. Well, what do you like, motherfucker? What do you do? So in other words, that's like you acknowledging that you ain't shit. You know you ain't shit. So I'm saying this to say, oh my God, it's like, like it's just insane. It's insane, but but at the same time, I understand. So I'm saying all of that to say at the same time too. Now, if we were to go back to, finding the middle point, or even not just finding the middle point, because I was mostly referring to how, people who don't know who they are. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, by me saying that they acknowledge that they ain't shit, don't get it twisted. These people could be the most arrogant people too. But they don't understand, they don't have a deeper understanding of their emotional pattern or blockages. That's why they tell you, you know what I'm saying, like the most stupid motherfuckers, is gonna be the most arrogant one, but he doesn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? You never see a motherfucker like who got nothing staying with their mom and dad. They think they're some shit. I mean, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying. I just want you to see, the subconscious aspect of what's taking place, or the lack of having a deeper understanding of your emotional blockages or patterns. Because when you're doing your shadow work, what you're doing is that you are delving into yourself and understanding your emotions. Why do I feel this way? Oh, that's where it started. My uncle raped me. Do you see what I'm saying? So now, you know what I'm saying, I don't believe in niggas. Or I've seen my mom, you know what I'm saying, my dad whooping my mom's ass. Guess what? I'm not going to fall in love with a man. I'm not going to trust a man. Then I'm going to become a player. Whatever the fuck the situation is. The point that I'm making here, the person who's actually acting that way, you know what I'm saying, doesn't have the full understanding of the reason why he or she's acting that way. You know what I'm saying? That's where your environment, you know what I'm saying, shit, like, has a lot to do with you. Again, we're talking about your physical life, which is your spiritual playground. That's why your humanity is your spirituality. But again, let's get back to, because I don't want to, I want to stay focused on finding the middle point, because that's the point, that's the point that I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's important for you to understand to be interdependent instead of being codependent. Now, I was saying, or the codependent ones, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why they always tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, like the loudest motherfucker's the weakest motherfucker. And that is true. Listen, if you're comfortable with who you are, like for me, I don't talk about other people. I don't say other people ain't shit. Now, for educational purposes, you know what I'm saying, like I was just saying just now, I would say that. It's like you can't listen. And here's something else about loving yourself too. You don't have time to hate on. Listen, man. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Now let's stay focused. But all of this is important too, because now when we're talking about the middle point or finding balance, and it doesn't mean half and half. For you to be fully balanced over here, you have to activate your spirituality. The mind and the body has to come together. Do you see what I'm saying? Like when the young lady was actually talking about how, what I'm saying, she doesn't need anybody, because she loves herself now. That's no. No, but it's okay. You're going through your, what I'm saying? We ain't judging. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? On the Christianity side of it. Or you know what I'm saying? Because, what I'm saying, then I would like, nigga, like I was saying, shalom, nigga. Now I turn the other cheek. I'm using the Bible now. Shit, more than ever. In fact, I have a better understanding of the Bible now. And then, but most importantly too, then I realized as I have attained that level of enlightenment, then you see the connection in everything. I see the connection in fucking everything. The Sufis, the Buddha, the Christ, Osiris. It's all connected. It's all the same shit, different ways of saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? God, Satan, Brahma, or Shiva, Sakti. I think Brahma and what is it? The destroyer and the builder. I can't recall what was. Same shit. I remember that part. So they're talking about, duality, but if you understand polarity, they're telling you it's all one. For you to build, you have to destroy, and for you to you just by destroying, you're gonna need to build something. Two sides of the same coin. When you choose a side, that's when you fail. That's when you fall short. Finding the middle point, it's not about finding a side, but it's to embody both sides. Just like when I remember I was talking to a brother of mine, so we were talking about, being optimistic. And being optimistic doesn't mean you are negating the negativity that's taking place. Nah, nigga. You acknowledge it, you have an optimistic outcome or perspective on the bad shit. Meaning, I could say, raising, being raised without a mom and dad, it's pretty fucked up. But the optimistic outcome is, because of them, you may be shaped a certain way. You may have to learn how to, earn or be responsible for yourself at an early age. Because a lot of us, it kicks in a little bit later. Because mom and dad's taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not definitely good. It could be very bad. Trust me. In fact, when we are talking about, how dysfunctional we are, right? In most cases, could be without a mom and dad, true. But the true dysfunctional families too, man, you can have your mom and your dad and be dysfunctional like a motherfucker. Because it's not necessarily their absence that makes it dysfunctional, but it's their lack of understanding. So their presence can fuck you up even more. Whereas if you were not in that position at all, at least you would have time to breathe. At least you have time to breathe. So I'm saying all of that to say, you know what I'm saying, understanding polarity is the key to life. Not just the key of life, but most importantly, that's why you need to find that middle point. And that middle point doesn't mean a little bit of this and a little bit of that. No, it means to fully, like true balance, you gotta be, you gotta attain your Godhead. Meaning, if we're using the two sides of the coin, those opposite, the head and tail, it's for you to understand there is head and there is tail, but there are both sides of the same thing. That state of mind alone removes you or take you out of the good and bad equation. Because you can only fight, or that competition exists when you don't see the full picture. Now you could debate about, having your family, whatever the fuck you want to debate on. You know what I'm saying? But a polarity perspective, nigga, you right, I'm right. Right? But most importantly, it's just to see the good in everything. You become the holy one, the perfect man. So in my case, I wouldn't say because I love myself I don't need anybody. That's not the case at all. Me loving myself, like I was saying, without being too redundant, pretty much it's just me saying, listen, you know what? I'm not going to cast my pearls before swine. We all need one another, bro. Like they say, you know what I'm saying? If there was no farmers, rich people would have to eat their money. Even your money means nothing. Because you got to understand, money is simply a medium of fucking exchange. That's it. Now, having money, let's just say you could hire a chef, whatever. You could do all of that. I get it. But you still need them, though. You know what I'm saying? If there's no farmers right now, like, what the fuck? What shit, nigga? Like I said, Thanksgiving is around the corner, nigga. I ain't killing my turkey. Somebody is. Somebody have done that for us. Now, when you're being one-sided, you're not looking at the bigger picture. That's when, you get to suck your own dick, which I get. You know what I'm saying? You're sucking it wrong. You're not even sucking your own dick at this point. I don't know what the fuck you sucking. You sucking on a whole, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, once you love yourself, you know what I'm saying, it allows you eating from the tree of life, meaning having that life understanding. How can you be egotistical at this point? If I understand I need everybody, how can I be arrogant, motherfucker? If I were to be fucking arrogant, it would be because I understand everybody. Because I know I fucking need everybody, nigga. What? How do you want it? Not because I'm some shit and I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with that. Or I got money, I don't need it. What the fuck? It doesn't even logically make sense. Everybody's fucking needed, bro. And I'm not saying this to be nice either. Fuck being nice. You know what I'm saying? The president got to eat, right? He's got to cook. You got your clothes, right? Somebody has to be. Like, what the fuck? You know, stores that you go to. The places that you go to eat, to have fun, to get together with your friends, guess what? Somebody else has to think about that. That's why you have to follow your bliss. You got to share your gift with the world. But a lot of people don't quite, it's all about the fucking community. But a lot of us, we don't understand. You got to be the best of you for the community. In fact, just the other day I was watching. Oh man, I was watching the movie the Lamborghini Man. Damn, that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? The man had to, what I'm saying, having your dreams, follow your purpose. Everybody's serving a purpose. Guess what? Ford had cars for everybody. This nigga didn't have cars for everybody. It doesn't, what I'm saying? Do you, motherfucker? There's gonna be a market. There's gonna be a niche for it. Follow your fucking bliss. But anyway, I'm not gonna keep this too long. Finding the middle point is the key to your elevation. So to find the middle point, you have to have the bigger picture. You have to see the full picture. It doesn't mean to compromise one side for another. Now, it means to embrace everything. And that's how you understand, what I'm saying? It's the understanding of head and tail being the same, being different side of the same coin. So when you approach life this way, and pretty much to be honest with you, that is pretty much what African spirituality is about versus what European spirituality is about. That's the main difference. It's one side looking at saying, humanity is not it. You know what I'm saying? They do it in so many different layers. For instance, you are born wicked, right? Or we are born sinners. All that shit. So automatically just saying, even though that's not what they're saying, but automatically by you being born, you evil. And then now what you call the occult, which is, the European occultists, now they telling you about, what I'm saying, fuck all that shit. Then now you have the priest, right? Which is the actual duality. That's why they don't get married. You know what I'm saying? Now, the way you dancing, because in your spirituality, you understand moving your body is therapeutic. It's the spirit expressing itself. In fact, when you're dancing, that is, what I'm saying, the best dancers, what I'm saying, become one with their dance. You know what I'm saying? That's when you are just in that moment. That's what that moment is. When you seize that moment, it's when the body and the mind comes in one. That's when Michael Jordan. That's that harmony. But duality separates it. It's a separation. Having a duality or a binary perspective is just good or bad. That's what it means. Then now your whole spirituality derives from there. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to heaven? You going to hell? What the hell? And that's where the actual limitation comes in. Now you become one-sided. You're looking at just the positivity and thing. It's like you looking at, is it half full or half empty? But when you're looking at the glass, you know what that is. You know what I'm saying? You already know. You know what I'm saying? Polarity is to embrace both half empty and half full at the same time. Two sides of the same shit. Love and hate, same thing. It just varies in fucking degree. So much so, the Kabbalion even talk about where you could find a middle point in the sense of you don't really know if you like you right now, if I hate you right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we all go through that fucking emotion. So again, when we talk about the occult is to give you that hidden shit about you that you don't understand. That's why for me, I love it a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? It's to dive into you. But again, once you understand what the hidden is, not hidden in the sense of, you know what I'm saying, we don't want you to see it, we got to keep it away from you. No, it means you got to delve into it. You got to dive deep, nigga. Let's analyze the other side of us. So again, as lightly as this may sound, it's actually is fully loaded. Because that type of understanding will humble you. You know, you don't even, that's why in African spirituality we don't talk about ego. There's no ego in African spirituality. The ego only makes sense when you're talking about a Western perspective. Because you are living in a society where greed is actually praised. Think about it. We celebrate businessmen. We turn these motherfuckers into celebrities. Jeff Bezos, whatever the fuck. I don't know the nigga. And I'm tripping. Elon Musk. These are all motherfuckers that the Apple nigga. These are all motherfuckers that we all fucking worshiping, man. You know what I'm saying? The fucking Walmart guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the list actually goes on, but I hope you get the point. So that is the culture, again, when we're talking about your intellectual conditioning. That's why, you know, a big part of you acknowledging truly who you are, you got to go beyond your culture. And not to refute it, you understand it for what it is. You enjoy it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you go beyond it because you are more than that. But for you to understand that you are more than that, that's when you would have to tap in or activate or acknowledge your spirit. But anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to drop something real quick. I was actually inspired to talk about finding the middle point. But most importantly, understand loving yourself doesn't mean you don't need anybody. We all need everybody. I need you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But now what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to compromise myself for you. That's where the self-love comes in. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, oh, you didn't get it. I got to let you go. I'm like, yo, I love you so much. I got to let you go. I'm letting you go because I love you. Do you understand that? You deserve the world, baby. You deserve the world. You're just not for me. Because now I love myself. Meaning, not that I don't need you, but you don't have the capacity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not about the things that I'm about. And I learn how to love and protect and sustain my peace. And that's all you're doing by loving yourself. And you know what I'm saying, before shit, let me speak for myself, nigga. Before I would compromise that shit, I don't know. That's not even part of my vocabulary. I'm not even thinking that far. It's like, what? Like, and there's no compromising here. This is there's no deal, baby. That's our deal. No deal. But it has absolutely nothing to do with not needing anybody or not, you know what I'm saying? Because now, you know what I'm saying, all you're doing at this point, like I was talking about, is understanding your worth. And now you're not casting your pearls before swine. You're not wasting yourself. Because now you know how valuable you are. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to leave you at that. With that being said, Aisha, brow, Mali.